Welcome to the Equinety Podcast, where horse owners just like you share their incredible Equinety stories and how Equinety is changing their horses' lives. Whether you're searching for something to give your performance horse better focus, faster recovery, and more stamina, or in the extreme case where all hope seems lost, give your horse what it needs to help heal at a cellular level, you'll find it here. So jump in on today's episode to hear how Equinety is helping horses worldwide. Now, welcome your host, John Dowdy.
Hello and welcome to this week's Equinety Podcast. We are swinging out into California. We've got Saralyn Sells on the podcast this week. Saralyn, welcome to the Equinety Podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me, John. I appreciate it. I love to talk about it.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have people on, and I say this all the time. I'm so excited about this story because this one is awesome. Not unlike all the other ones we had, but this one is the most awesome one this week, which is the only one we have this week. But
that makes me awesome.
Yes, that makes you so special. Well, I tell you, this one, it really is. As I was reading through this story, and I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. So for those tuning in, we're talking about a horse that was born with some challenges. It took you to the Arabian Nationals. And we've got a coffin bone coming through the soul, severe founder, Cushings, you're on your last leg. But before we get to that part, let's start at the very beginning and tell us about this wonderful horse.
This horse took me over some hurdles that I had historically, and I didn't care if she was $1 million. I was buying her. She was that awesome. She helped me through some things. So she's my unicorn. And the first year I had her, I got her when she was 14, and she took me to nationals my first year. Yes, when she was born, her tendons had come through the back by her hoof when she was out in the field with her mother. So they did surgery and fixed her there. She had a club foot. So she's been compromised on that foot for her whole life. But the first year I had her, she took me to U.S. Nationals Arabian. And believe me, it was the horse. It wasn't me. I can't ride or squat. Thank God she wasn't as good as she is. But she took me to the ultimate level in the Arabian world. And she, besides being my buddy, I mean, I'll do anything for this horse. And she, like I said, she had compromised. But she took me to nationals. Now she was given to my granddaughter too, who now shows in the Arab world. And she's 7 years old. And this horse means everything to her. Mm-hmm. But a year ago, we were out riding and of course noticed her being compromised on her foot. And so when the shoer came and took it off, he just freaked, because her coffin bone came through the bottom. Oh. And from that, I was just beside myself with that. So it's been ongoing, actually a year today. this week. So with that, it's an ongoing process. The vet felt she was going to be no longer. And I said, absolutely not. This horse isn't ready. And that's when my call was to you, not knowing you were the owner.
Well, yeah. So how did that, I vaguely remember, because it was this crazy of a story, or we'll say that severe, but I know it sticks out in your mind very clear. How did that phone call go? Because, like you said, here's your horse very compromised, and you were at the end of your rope, and you're willing to do anything, but with so many things out on the market, and here we go, which is a challenge for a lot of people because there is a lot of things out there. So what was your mindset?
That's it. With reading so much, you get overwhelmed with the amount of supplements and goods that are out there. And, talking to everybody, it's a whirlwind. And then I said, I'm just not seeing where any of this is going to help her. And you were my last call before I had to make that call to the vet. And with that, and talking with you, I'll never forget. And I said, Sir, there are more supplements out there. I understand who pays your paycheck. So please help me understand how this is going to help my horse.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, ma'am, I put my money where my mouth is. I'm the owner. I will take care of you. You said, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but this will help. And I just totally, I trusted you. It showed up in 2 days. You forwarded to me, and we've been in conversation ever since. And my horse is still outside. That's all I can say.
So, so 1 year, it's been on product, your horse?
Yes.
Yeah. So with a severe case like that, I mean, we're talking coffin bone is through the soul here.
Right.
How long did it take before you started noticing anything?
Well, it was a good 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I had the vet and the shoer out approximately every 6 weeks. So, and they saw she had no hoof wall, and the hoof wall had strengthened so much. And also the seal of underneath, that she had a hoof sole. She had none before. It was mush. It was, like you say, compromised. It was the bacteria, everything, which is very hard to out in a stall. They pee, they do whatever. And so I'm lucky enough to be home in my office to go out and take care of it, all of it, and to keep her in as clean an environment as possible. And with the Equinety, it gave her that boost over where she was stuck. And with that, the stars shined. Let me tell you, that it was an unbelievable change. And that it was first when the shoer said, "Oh my, I have something to work with here." And it was awesome. And the vet too was standing there, and he goes, Where's your pamphlets? Can I read your pamphlets?" and so I gave it to him, and he said, "This is nothing but good. You have done well for your horse, And he says she's not textbook, and the Equinety has given her that little pinch in the kulu to get her over that spot. So, and there's nothing bad in it. That's all I can say. There's so much additive that you're paying for in other supplements. Not that they're not good products. It works for some. It doesn't work for others. This works for me and my horse, both my horses.
Yeah. And I think too, for those tuning in for the first time, we're specifically talking about the Equinety Horse Excel up to this point. And what the Equinety Horse Excel is 100% pure amino acids. There's no fillers, there's no sugars, no starches, and there's no loading dose. So a serving size is about the size of a teaspoon, or rounded teaspoon. And what makes it so unique is the amino acids are specifically formulated to give the body what it needs to release its own hormones. Specifically, it's targeting the pituitary gland, and that's what releases the necessary hormones, which then the body is able to direct those hormones where they need to go for the problem areas. And in this case, this is a severe case. I mean, yeah. I would guesstimate or guess here that obviously you were looking at putting the horse down, because I mean, what are you going to do? And this, as you mentioned,
I didn't want her in pain. I just didn't want her in pain.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and as you mentioned, I mean, this was your last resort, and with that phone call, we've been on the market now about 6 years with this product, and we've just seen so many cases. I mean, thousands of cases where specifically dealing with the hoof, it's going to help thicken the sole. It's going to help an all-around healthier, stronger, faster-growing hoof, which ultimately gives your farrier more to work with in a shorter amount of time. And, I tell people all the time, this product isn't a miracle product, but it sure has done some miraculous things. But it's so important to be working with, a great farrier and a vet, and have your team, and of course, a good owner to be aware of what's going on with their horse. So, one of the great things about this product as well is, it starts working in 24 hours. And the vast majority of people do see changes in 30 days or less. And that could be softer, shinier coats, better hoof growth, soft tissue repair. They're happier, a little bit better demeanor. You get into these severe cases and, it's a bit of a crapshoot going in because, well, sometimes Mother Nature is already too far down the path. And so, fortunately, you had a great team around you and, with this product really helping give that hoof some good growth to give your farrier more to work with. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. And I should say it was probably sooner than 6 months, but my other horse who I use for showing, it was an immediate recognizing that it was doing something for her. Both their coats. The deeper color, the shine, her feet, and my farrier goes, oh my gosh, I don't know. It's so, she had such strong hooves. He goes, holy cow, I'm really working at this because he really had to clip it. And he goes, geez, Louise. And so now he'll text me and say, what's that stuff you use? What's that stuff? Because he'll be at another client and he'll say, now what's that stuff called that you use? And so I had to hand him some pamphlets that I had. And I'm like, oh my gosh. He goes, it's unbelievable, the change. And in my other horse, who is healthy, it was almost immediate. So I knew I had a long road with China and the compromised horse. I knew I had a long road, but I was sticking to it because I did see the change. But of course, because she was at the bottom. So for her to get over I knew it was going to take a little bit.
Sure.
But it did. It gave her that, like I said, that pinch to get her in the positive side that, everybody's looking at me. Oh yeah. And now the amount of clients that I have, it's just, they see it with China. I just show them my horse.
Right.
So,
yeah. Well, and I think too, you mentioned your granddaughter's now using China for showing. And so it's been a year from the time that this coffin bone is through the sole. And now a year later, your daughter is using it.
My granddaughter's 7. Yes. She's riding the other one. And China, that's her girl. But China's at the retirement stage at 27.
Right.
Right. So, but she is on a positive. There, you can see that she is not in pain. I want her, like I said, if it was her time to go, I want her to go because she's old. Mm-hmm. I don't want her to go because of an issue that I have to put her down. And that's where Equinety came in, is giving her a life that's comfortable.
Sure. Now, you also mentioned that China has Cushing's. How has the Equinety helped in that area?
It stabilized everything. It has stabilized everything. Is she on a Cushing's medicine? Yes. But like I said, all of it works together. Mm-hmm. It all has its own purpose, and every one of those items work together in unison. So like I said, it's great. And I have people that come and say, well, this, and this. I said, you better talk to your vet. And lucky everybody around me is pretty much this one vet. Yeah. And so he's like, do it, take it, use it. And it's nothing but good stuff. So, yeah.
And that's the nice thing too, with it being 100% pure amino acids, there are no negative side effects with combining it with any other medications or other supplements. As a matter of fact, we always tell people to don't change a thing that you're giving your horse, just add this to it. And then over the next couple weeks to 30 days, you should notice a significant enough change to where then you can decide to reduce and or stop giving other things, which only the owner would know.
That's exactly. Mm-hmm. My granddaughter has a horse trainer because, Grammy, it's hard for Grammy to tell her what to do because she won't listen. Right. So it's easier for a stranger to tell her to keep her feet down, keep her heels in, with that kind of stuff. So her horse trainer has now put all of her horses on it, all of them. Nice. I mean, she believes in that much.
Yeah.
So it's just, once she's seen one and what it does, you can sit here and say all you want. You got to see how it works. Right. You really do.
Yes.
It's nothing but good stuff.
Yep. Now, this year we came out with a secondary product called Equinety Ultimate OEC, which is a flaxseed-based omega-3 oil. It's got 1,000 IUs of natural vitamin E and colloidal silver all in one. So it's serving two purposes. One, the amino acids in Equinety Horse Excel are helping to repair the cells, and so this OEC product is giving those repaired cells some nutrition, which helps them operate at optimal levels. And the second thing the OEC is doing, it's a very, very powerful antioxidant, which helps reduce inflammation. So you recently just added this to your horse's diet. And what kinds of things are you seeing since you added the OEC?
Oh, yeah. And add it to it. Let me tell you. Oh, my goodness. I mean, you had optimal level with the XL. Add that OEC. Oh, my goodness. It just gives it another punch. The shine, the deepness, the hoof, it, like you say, the inflammation, everything I have, it's just, it does, just puts it at a whole new level that you didn't even think was there. So together, everything is optimal, especially working them together.
Yeah, that's great. Now, for those of you that might be tuning in for the first time and they've listened to this story and they're like, oh, okay, that was a little far-fetched. We don't need another, elixir, magic dust, whatever you want to call it out there. But the proof is always in the pudding. Other than everything that you've talked about, what would you have to say to them that still might be on the fence?
I was the same way when I started it. And, you can read all you want. You can look everything up. You can talk to whoever. But I have to say, I didn't have the same feeling as when talking to you and what you felt your product could do for my horse and what you said it has done. It definitely has done. And what you said to me, I can't guarantee anything because every horse is different. I can't guarantee it, but let me try to help you. Mm-hmm. And that was more for me than anything that that anybody says, my stuff can do it. I can do it. No, your proof is in the pudding. Definitely. And I have to say, my horse is standing outside, and that's the proof I needed.
Yeah. And,
it makes me cry.
I would pass you a tissue, but Florida to California would take a while.
One of these things I'll see you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think too, from an owner's standpoint, when you're looking at your horse in potentially the darkest days, when you're looking at having to make that kind of a decision, and again, in this case, it has all worked out, and now to look out and see your horse, that's got to make you feel as proud as ever. Yeah.
And you should be proud, because it did what you said it would do.
Yeah.
You have to believe. You have to believe in what you're doing is going to help your horse. And you take it to the level where if it doesn't, you know what to do. But this did exactly what you said it would do. And I believed, and like I said, my horse is standing out. They're beautiful as ever, both of them. But this one was my unicorn. And like I said, I want her to go in the comfort, and she is definitely comfortable. So It's done what it has said it could do. So
yeah, that's all. Well, we're definitely blessed as a company to have a product that works, and now products that work as well as they do. And our goal with these two products is to provide a solid supplemental foundation for any horse at any stage of life, no matter what they're doing for a job. And, we just have thousands of testimonials. And I believe this podcast is about the 83rd story that we've had that's gone up, which do come out on Wednesdays. So, it's amazing to hear these stories. They never get old. And it's just, it feels good knowing that the horses are feeling good, the owners are happy, because when the horse is happy, the owner's happy. So it all works all the way around. So,
well, if I can say, because when our initial talk and stuff, and as you can see, I have no problem talking. Being Italian and stuff, you have to get past me and tell me shut up, kind of deal. But I believed in the product so much. You took me on. Mm-hmm. As a team member.
Right.
And with that, and I said to you, I have to see it work before I'll do anything. And I have grown, and everyone, my clients, I'm totally sold out. I'm sold out pretty much every week, I'd say. And it helps so many horses that I know of that are going to give their testimonies to you that I've just handed over everybody. So they should all be contacting you.
Well, and and two, I think it's so important as well because, all these stories for anybody else that's going through similar situations and they're able to listen to the podcast or read the story, the testimonial, my intention is it gives them hope that whatever they're dealing with, it could give them hope. And, so far it's really been working out very well. So it's, and
you have, and like I said, I choke up because I can look out and that girl's looking at me, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah.
She's 27, and I know at some point there's the time we're all going to go. I mean, that's inevitable.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So yeah, I just want her to go comfortable. Mm-hmm. That's all.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, Saralyn Sells out of California, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story here on the Equinety Podcast.
Thanks, John. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate the product. Thank you so much.
That's all for this episode of the Equinety Podcast. For more information on purchasing Equinety, be sure to visit our website at teamequinety.com, where you'll also find product information as well as more testimonials on how others have seen amazing results by implementing Equinety into their horse's supplement regime. We'll have more stories on how Equinety is helping horses worldwide right here on a future episode of the Equinety Podcast.